I sold
my soul to transition.
I very nearly forgot to record sound, which would have been incredibly bad and annoying, but I didn't, so I'm here. Hello, welcome to the video. Hey Spuds, it's Jamie, welcome back to the video. You're first on the channel or not your first on the channel? What the heck? What is my intro? I can't remember. Oops. I just ate a chocolate, I'm gonna blame it on that. How are you all doing? Welcome, thank you so much for clicking on the video. I hope you're gonna enjoy it because today is a very interesting one. Today is something that I have been wanting to give attention to. I've wanted to dedicate an entire video to this topic for the longest time, and here we are today, and I am so excited, and I really hope that I am on top of my pun game and I am funny, because if not, this video might be a little bit rubbish, to be honest. But yeah, go comment below at the end if I was any good or not. I mean, you might not see this if I was terrible. Who knows? But today, we are having a proper dive and a look into those vehicles that are just for the transes, you know? The trans vehicles, the transport vehicles that are not for the cis people. No, they offend the transphobes. These are not for the transphobes. They are not allowed to use them. Cis allies, we accept. You may use our vehicles. That is all good. But they're mostly for the transes. Yes. Shall we have a look at these vehicles? Okay, me trans. Yeah, that's me trans. How do you come out? You just say me trans. Yes, potentially not the best grammar, but it works. It's accurate. Yeah, there is something before. Maybe it says I me trans or I'm trans. That doesn't make as much sense. I prefer me trans. Go comment below if that's how you would come out. I'm not sure if it's the best way. I hope I've read that right. We're just gonna go with it. Imagine this, a theme park where only trans people are allowed. It's the best place for trans people in the planet. In the planet? Sorry. No cis people are allowed to go to trans world. Yes. Transphobes' least favourite place ever to be because it's just full of trans people. How wonderful. Who wouldn't want to be in a trans, what I just said? Transphobes. We all went through a phase when we were younger. I feel like this was a thing. And looking back, you may have realised that you were, in fact, an emo trans. Not just emo, not just trans, but an emo trans. I probably was a baby emo trans. I did go through that phase. I was not like deep in it. I was, it was probably like just below surface level that I dabbled, okay? I dabbled. I didn't go head first in. But I did have a little phase. I did the thing. I had the belt. I had the fringe. I had some of the fashion. And I thought that people who were like emos were the epitome of cool. I had such aspirations. I was like, oh my god, you're like cool. And guess who was an emo as a teenager? Sharba. Yes, she was. I will not include a photo because she would be very mad at me, but she did a lot better job of it than I did. I always just aspired and I was like, you are so cool. I didn't know Sharba when she was an emo, by the way. I don't really know why I brought that into it, but yes, emo trans. Ta-da. I should also probably point out, these are all ones that I have asked you lovely spuds to send to me on Insta, and I so appreciate it. Thank you so much. You sent so many. I literally have 50 to go through. I don't know if they're all gonna make it. Depends on my joke level with them, but thank you very much. I keep saying that and I feel so much pressure to be funny now. If I'm not funny, then I'm not funny. And I hope that you still laugh at the actual vehicles, even if you're not laughing at what I'm saying. We'll just roll with that. When it's morning time and you're trans AM. Why did I go for morning? Trans am. I am trans. Trans I am. Am Jamie, not AM. I overthought it. Not trans PM. Trans AM. You could also go like that. Another version of me trans. Just trans am, trans me, am trans. We could swap it around. Am trans am, not trans am. Let's just forget this one ever happened. When you're a spotty teenager and then you find out you're trans, transit. And it's made even funnier by the fact the tagline on top of the vehicle is one face to the carrier. Transit. When you're spotty and you're transit. Transmech group. I cannot. T, testosterone. Just another thing, another vehicle that transphobes hate. Transmech group. Wonderful. Not funny at all. When somebody kind of accepts you, okay, trans. Okay, trans. Okay, I'm alright with the trans. Okay. And this, I think I did Praha through Google Translate, so it's OK Trans Prague. OK Trans Prague. www.oktrans. OK to the trans. Trans is OK. Woohoo. Age trans. Why are there so many variations? I mean, I get it, like transport and like transport vehicles and everything, but they all just take the trans bit. It's not like age transport or transport age. It's literally age trans, or like me trans, not me transport. Yes, we all have an age, even when we are trans. ULI, not to be confused with UTI, trans. No urinary tract infections for the transes, just, no, not gonna say what came to my head, just the ULI, trans, and international, does that say frog? International frig transport. Something ULI trans. ULI. You and I. Don't know if you are. I am. Errand trans. Woohoo! You can tell the ones that my brain is just not thinking of anything to say about. I'm literally doing this video as like, look at all these vehicles that say trans on them. Logistics service. Errand trans, when you need to run those errands but you don't have a D or spelling. Oh, that's funny, when you don't have a D. I didn't mean to say that. When you like climbing mountains and you're trans. Alp trans. Yes, always in motion. Is that even how you spell Alp though? Alpy. Alpy trans. Helper trans. Oh, I hope YouTube doesn't demonetize me for this. Something you must only do when you are of appropriate age and you have consent from everybody involved. Enter trans. I could have gone more wholesome with that one, but I couldn't think of one. Enter trans. I could have gone for like when a trans person walks in a room. Enter trans. No, didn't go down that route. I'm so sorry. Transnaj. And I put the NAJ through Google Translate and it says it's Slovenian for should. Trans should. Trans should what? Trans should have rights. Trans should do crime. Trans should have access to gender affirming care. Trans should be respected. Trans should... Trans. Yeah. Also, I'm not condoning doing crime. That was a joke. When you're famous and you're trans VIP. This is a taxi service just for very important trans people. We're talking like Elliot Page level important trans people. Yes. This is his car. Laverne Cox, also her car. Trans VIP. Do you know, actually, this is all of us. We are all trans VIPs because all trans people are very important people. You're all doing great. Oh, God. No. Okay, oh God. This one. Right. This is when you're a certain type of trans person and you've caused controversy and you believe there is a certain type of way to be trans and you hurt people's feelings sometimes. You may be described as a trans med. This was such a thing on trans YouTube because some trans people decided, let's gatekeep other trans people and other people's identities. Woohoo! I don't understand. Trans med diagnostics. Why is the N so tiny? I get it, you wanted to put the little bloop 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 bloop. It's displeasingly small compared to the rest of the letters, and then why is there an I in front of it? I trans med. I mean, no. That is not something I would say again. I can't believe that's actually on a vehicle. And nobody driving that vehicle would probably ever know what it means within the trans community. I love it. Oh, I read this wrong. Okay, I thought this said calm trans, and I got really excited because I thought that one was funny, but it's cam trans. Does cam mean anything? Came trans. You became trans. Yeah. Woo! What is that meant to mean? Like, why do they have that on a vehicle? Like, why trans should or came trans? Does it kind of translate a bit differently in the original language? Is there something lost in the translation of it? I wonder. Because that's very interesting. Oh, saying that, me thinking ahead, I screenshot the message that was sent with this saying, spotted in Samogitia. Sorry if I absolutely messed that up. In Western Lithuania, a Polish truck telling people in Lithuanian, who wants a trans? Who wants a trans? Well, who does? Hands up in the comments. No, let's not do that. But who wants a trans? Imagine putting that on the back of a truck and just having no idea what it sounds like. Trans is soul. Trans isol. Trans isolated. Trans soul like a fish. I sold.
My soul to transition.
I don't know. I also screenshot the message that came. In French, is it isol? Isol means lonely. Put to the side. Oh, when you have no friends and you're trans. You're trans lonely. No, you're not. If we take that as the actual prefix, trans lonely means on the other side of lonely. So you are not lonely. Actually, lonely would be cis lonely. Because you're on the same side of the meaning of lonely. But we're not talking about the actual prefix. We're talking about trans, meaning trans people. Trans people be lonely. Anyone can be lonely. What do trans people eat for breakfast? Trans cereals. It does actually mean cereals, though. Cereals. It does. It's Spanish. Apparently. Is it also French? I don't know. But yes, I have Cheerios. I like a good honey Cheerio. What about you? What breakfast cereal is your favourite? When trans people dine at a very fine restaurant, trans gourmet. Gourmet trans. Yum. How delicious. We all love a gourmet trans. But that just makes me think not of people eating at this gourmet restaurant, but people being eaten at this gourmet restaurant. You know the Katy Perry video? I can't remember what song it is, but she's like bread and then she's cooked and then it's very bizarre. Very makes me uncomfortable. But that's kind of, you know, swap Katy Perry for a trans person. Trans gourmet. Alternative transportation. Now, why did you have to put portation on there? That would have been so good. How dare you actually use the full word and not make it a trans pun? Although it does say www.alttrans.com. Best friends with the emo trans. I don't know if they would be alternative. I think my parents were always like, oh, you're so alternative. Look at you with your funny fringe and your belt. People who think that being trans is a social contagion think that you can get trans just by being near other trans people because they are very, very silly and misguided and transphobic. You can only get trans by being trans. Trans event. No cis people allowed here. It is a trans-only event. We love these. They're a very safe space. I would not recommend going to a trans event in the back of a lorry, though. That does not seem like the best place for an event. Unless it's like a party bus. Although they just look like a nightmare. I get car sick, so the concept of being in like a party bus where you drink and you move around and there's not really seat belts per se, and often you can't see out the window. And I'm like, how is this fun? Not trans north, not trans east, not trans south, but trans west. I don't know why I felt the need to do that. I'm sorry, it probably sounded horrendous. I just thought it would be more dramatic. Trans west. Da 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 da. Is that not a song? A way to describe all trans masc people, because we are wonderful and amazing. You just need to call us Trans King. Trans Kings. Imagine if we had a trans king. That would be cool. Be better than a cis king. Has a better ring to it. Cis king. Doesn't sound right. Trans king. Oh look, we've got another emo trans. Customized global logistics success by performance. We've already covered the emo trans thing. Now, if you went to Trans World and you weren't that impressed, don't worry, because there is another theme park that is a transphobe's worst nightmare and a trans person's dream, and that is Trans Land. I must say, this vehicle looks a little bit fake, but we're gonna pretend it's real because it says something funny. And then what is a trans person's favourite mode of transport? Why? Of course, it is, yes, we have Trans VIP, but we also have the Trans Star Express. Da, da, da. It's a super coach. Trans Star Express. Imagine just filling this coach with a bunch of trans people to just go and like chill and have fun. How cool would that be? I want to hire a Trans Star Express and organise a really cool trans meetup event. Eggs and trans. Forget eggs and beans. Forget eggs and chips. Forget eggs and bread. Forget eggs and toast soldiers. No, eggs and trans. That's the new breakfast of champions. When you're trans and you feel like you just need a little bit of a pick-me-up, just a little help, a little advice. What's going on? Do you know who you call?
Who you gonna call?
Not Ghostbusters. Trans service team. Ta-da! You need a bit of help. You're trans. I don't know why it says deworms underneath. Dewormer for trans people. There we go. That's what the trans service team does. It deworms you. I'm so sorry. When you're not hot, you're... Yeah. And also, another one is if you're just a really, really awesome person, like you've got a great vibe to you. Most trans people, right? Except me. I am very not this. Cool trans. Who's a cool trans? No, not me, not me. But yes, I'm sure many of you are cool and trans. You know those days where you're just like, I am so trans. I am really, really trans. I am trans AF. Someone sent me this and it's just got, same. Aren't we all trans AF? How trans are you? Oh yeah, like trans as yes. Oh, we have another trans land. We love the trans land. Cool trans as. Cool trans as. I don't know why that made me laugh. It's in snow. That just seems funny. When you're not quite trans AF, you need to BMO trans. I'm embarrassed by myself. I'm cringing at my own joke. I'm gonna move on. If you're trans in Germany, you may want to give the Trans Team Berlin a call for all of your trans-related needs. You're welcome. What do you call a trans person who believes in global warming and is interested in helping save the planet? Eco-trans. Yay! Eco-trans. Da, 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 da. I don't know why I'm singing so much in this, I'm sorry. I think I'm trying to fill the space of my lack of jokes. See, this one says trans X, right? And I was gonna make a joke about like X-rated, like, you know, OnlyFans, but a trans person. You could call it trans X, yeah, or any other thing. And then I was like, no, I'm not gonna go down that route. I already did that with another one that I can't remember off the top of my head because I have an awful memory. And then underneath it says, we take a load off your mind. Where else am I supposed to go with it after that? It takes a load off you. When you're going too fast, you're trans-sped-ing. But they missed off the trans-sped. Why sped? Sped. It's like English detected. Is sped actually an English word? Sped define. What the heck is wrong with me? It's the past tense of speed. I am too tired.
You are the weakest link. Goodbye.
My brain is just not functioning. I'm so sorry. That was embarrassing. It's not BMO trans, it's demo trans. Swap the B with a D and demonstrating being trans. Woohoo. I cannot forgive myself for having to Google define sped. I just don't know if I can continue with this video right now. It's a good job. This next one is literally the last one, and I promise you it's genuinely the last one. I'm not just wrapping this video up early because I'm embarrassed. I could edit it out. No, it needs to stay in. It's so bad. Now, this vehicle is infamous. I'm sure we've all seen it before. This is not one for trans people. This is specifically the transphobes truck. We must avoid this. This is not a good truck. Stop trans. This has been funded by some very particular people. No, it hasn't. It hasn't, but I wouldn't put it past them to start doing billboards and adverts on the side of trucks and being no more eloquent than just stop trans. That's the extent of their argument.
I just don't like it. Just stop being trans.
There we go. That's how we're gonna end the video. I think I'm gonna go eat some food and have a nap, you know. I think I need it. I also completely forgot to mention, I have a haircut, but then I realised that you're probably going to have seen it a couple weeks ago because I film in advance, but then I had to film a little extra shout out for Shaba's music, which, by the way, will her next song have been out? She's got one song coming out on the 1st of December and she had one come out in November. But anyway, if you want to go check out Shaba and her music, and search here and I will put some links down below and in the comments as well and stuff because, yeah, like it's good, okay? If you did like this video, think about giving it a thumbs up and subscribing, but no pressure. I wouldn't blame you if you didn't want to do it after today's video. Please go comment below the actual funny puns that I should have thought of when making this video that go along with the trucks. I really want to know them and just learn how to do better. Give me the constructive criticism. Yeah, as always, thank you so much for watching. I truly appreciate it. I'll see you next time. Much love. Bye.